I'm doing this when my hair is a mess. This is why I wear hats. I just chose not to wear hats because I don't care. Welcome to another video. God. God. I don't know, I've got two ideas to title this video, and I still don't know what to title it. We're going to be talking about David Moyes again, but not because of his Diary of a CEO interview. If you want me to do a video on that, let me know. I've got two videos that I've got in mind that if they get views, they will stay on the channel. And if they don't, I'll delete them. So that might be coming this week about two individual players, one video each. Let's get into this one though. Now, there's actually one account that said this perfectly. There is no point sacking Moyes if you're going to get Rafa or Nuno or Deitch. Now people are like, sure, Deitch is a very good manager, blah, 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 blah. Sure, Deitch is a very good manager, but he just doesn't suit us. No, everyone's full fighting too. And they will show a bit of fight. No. People are already stepping back on what they were saying in the first place. You can't get the best out of attacking players, and talking about Moyes here, which is true. So why are we linked to defensive coaches? Why are we linked to Nuno Espirito Santo, which, as much as I want us to still play on the counter and in possession, a bit like Liverpool used to do, I'm not saying we have the players that Liverpool have, but what I also want to do is get the best out of creative players. Now, Wolves did have Neves and Moutinho, but it's a bit different from having Rice and Paqueta, and despite Paqueta being very creative, the way Nuno plays is not going to get the best out of him. We saw how Nuno done at Tottenham, then he went to Saudi Arabia. I think it's Saudi Arabia he went to. He went to the Middle East. Let's just say Middle East, in case I get that wrong. He went to the Middle East for a reason. It's because he's washed. He fell off at Wolves, and look what he's done to Tottenham. If he comes to us, Tottenham fans are going to fucking kill us. They can kill us already, because despite them not being happy at their club, they can always just turn around on us and say you're 18th. I've been thinking about, it's Monday and I've still been thinking about how shit we are. This is fucked with my head. I haven't been like this in 3 years with West Ham. Even the Frankfurt one is got to a semi-final, I'm disappointed. It's a different kind of disappointment. But this one's different, and 4-4-2 in 2023. You're gonna get outnumbered in midfield, and you just want workhorses, and the problem I have with this, even if it does work, even if we do somewhat well in the league, we won't do anything in the Conference League. And I still think, I know we're in a relegation battle, but you saw Newcastle last year. I know they didn't have European football, but you could get out of this relegation battle if you got a few wins. And also, what you can do, you can still win this competition. Believe it or not, with how shit we are, there's a lot of really mediocre teams in this competition. Villarreal don't have their manager anymore. Our biggest threat is probably Nice and Lazio, maybe. Maybe Lazio. Maurizio Sarri, I think, has done a very good job there. So I think Lazio came down to the Conference League. They've still got to play their playoff, don't get me wrong. They might not want to care about the Conference League, but I care about the Conference League because we're not going to win a trophy anytime soon. And I said we can win the Conference League earlier on. Now, I don't know whether we can still do that, I'll be honest. But we have a good chance still. We have a good chance. European football probably suits our players a bit more, with them still getting used to the Premier League. The only positive right now is Zuma's back. For the love of God, stay fit, Kurt Zuma, please. Him and Aged will be fine with them in defence. It's just the fullbacks that I'm worried about. Play Correa and Emerson. Tell Correa stay back. Tell Emerson bomb forward. It's not that hard. I'm sick of seeing Aaron Cresswell. I'm sick of seeing Sufal. I'm sick of seeing Souček. I'm sick of seeing Bowen. And even Antonio's getting old. He should be as an impact sub for most games. I reckon we can still use him in European games. And I'm sick of seeing Pablo Fornals. I'll get onto him on another day. The main problem at this club is still David Sullivan. I will not blame the board for this season because they backed the manager that we had, and finally, after all these years that we've been asking for, they let the people that were employed for footballing decisions deal with the transfers. Looks like Mark Noble was taken over with Rob Newman and David Moyes in terms of transfers as well. And my thing is, with David Sullivan, is that I can't trust him to employ another manager. It wasn't his idea to employ Moyes, it was David Gold's. It's depressing at times at West Ham. I would also like to say, with Pochettino and Tuchel, do you think we're getting them? And are you being serious? Now, if we're talking unrealistic options, like unrealistic, like let's say in a hypothetical world you could go for any manager, I would get those two, don't get me wrong. And if we couldn't get those two, I would pay anything to get Marco Silva at this club. I would pay anything to get the Celtic manager at this club. And I can't pronounce the Celtic manager's name. That's why I didn't say his name. But this is where we are. We don't have the squad to get relegated, but we have a few people that will let us down, that used to save us, and we have a manager that has gone from hero to zero. Now, when he leaves eventually in this club, whether it's him getting sacked or him walking out, I will always think of him as my favourite West Ham manager because of what he's done for the club. But right now, just no. The problem is that we won't get anyone better because this board aren't ambitious enough. Now, people say, who would you get, Mikes? It's not my job. I've heard good things about this Gallardo guy who's now unemployed after being at River Plate for so long. Maybe give him a chance. I think he plays good football. I don't watch River Plate, but I've heard good things. And I've heard things about this Tedesco guy. He plays a 3-4-2-1. That could work. Might not. But yeah. I'm not trying to hear this get a former player in. Every time we're in this kind of situation, always like, get a former player in, get Di Canio. There was back in the day, it was get Di Canio in. Yeah, because he was such a good manager. Get Scott Parker in. Like, he knows the club, yeah? Knows the club. Obviously, it's all about knowing the club. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Shut up, man. Legit. Why do you want a former player? There should be no sentiment. No sentiment in football. If a former player was manager of our club, it'd be like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Man United, where we love him because of what he did for us. Like they were like with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look, he scored in Champions League in 99. That was 99. He was a shit manager. It's like with Scott Parker, I don't think he's a good manager. He's at Club Brugge somehow. I'm glad he's at Club Brugge. He's not at my club. Certain accounts that work for certain websites, we'll call them out on another day. No, I'll make a video on that as well, one day. We're going to call out the yes men of the West Ham fan base, and one day, when I get all the information that I need, I'm making a video on that as well. Because these people want Scott Parker as manager. They wanted Scott Parker. I'm glad Gerrard is about to get the Poland job, I assume. Because he can't be manager of my club. Could never be manager of my club. I know he won Rangers the title, but he's coming up against Livingston and Carcass FC and all this. Like, I know he's coming up against Celtic, but that was when they were falling off with Neil Lennon. But yeah, that is my summary of life after David Moyes. And I'm going to call this probably Life After David Moyes is Still Shit, or something like that. Probably can't swear in the title. If you guys did like the video, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. Social media is in the description if you want to follow me on the email for any inquiries. And I will see you guys another time, hopefully this week.